I finally had a look at a late-game crisis coming with 7.0 to X4 Foundations, and I would like to share my experience, together with my approaches to deal with the crisis. The first two things I experienced were that these giant beaming Ravagers are pretty good against smaller ships, and they can destroy our capitals in seconds. As far as I observed the crisis, the Xenon incursions are always in systems where you have stations and follow the same procedure every time. First, Bozotar announces the next incursion and will tell you the location, so we can prepare our defense, except at the start of the crisis. The first incursion was unannounced as far as I recognized it. Because the time between the announcement and the start can be too short to relocate larger ships, I think it's recommended to have defense fleets nearby, your systems in which you have stations. After the crisis start, we have the option to pay Bozotar 500 million to make the crisis stop, or to investigate further, which triggers more incursions over time. As far as I have observed, the incursions always start with 3 Xenon Ks and 1 Eye, escorted by some Bs, Ents, and Ms, followed up by several spawns of Kha'ak fleets, over time at random locations in the incursion map. The Kha'ak fleets are composed of 1 Ravager, sometimes 2, with the usual small ships that are normally no threat to larger ships. With the Xenon fleets, I dealt so far by swarming them with cheap plasma cannon fighters to kill the Xenon Ks, while my own destroyers sniped the Eye. The Kha'ak Ravagers were tricky at the start, because they're able to destroy static targets like destroyers that try to use their main weapons extremely fast, and are able to easily kill fighters with their beam weapons. My overall experience with the use of small crafts against Ravagers was, don't even try it in low attention mode, they simply have no chance, while in high attention mode they did a decent job. The last nasty Ravager feature I observed was that these beam weapons are pretty good at destroying engines and turrets. For me, this means that having repair drones at hand is mandatory against them. To counter Ravagers, I used fighters as distractions at first, so they were not going for my larger ships. After a while, I stopped using fighters for 2 reasons. The first reason is that the beam weapons that destroy fighters in seconds need quite a while to take down larger shields. The second reason is that the Ravager's turning rate is too slow to align its main weapon towards targets that move around it. So the only thing I had to do was to deactivate the main weapons of my destroyers to keep them moving. I started to like the USSE as a counter to the Ravager, because it felt like the right trade-off between speed, damage output, and shield capacity. I used the USSE with plasma turrets in large and medium slots. As shields, I used Terran MK3 shields, because as you can see in this example, they can hold the pressure from the beam weapons for 2 minutes. And every other shield would have been completely broken in this scenario. That the shields could hold for 2 minutes was only possible due to the large shield capacity and the recharge rate of the Terran MK3 large shields. I think in this scenario it is worth going for the expensive Terran MK3 shields, because they can save the life of the USSE. And the additional price we have to pay for this shield upgrade is small enough compared to the overall ship price, I think. The last thing I did was to utilize the M-Dock of the USSE and dock Threshers there, as defense against smaller enemies. The Threshers were equipped with arc turrets, since they are pretty good at destroying fast-moving targets. I never experienced any of my Threshers being shot off the docking bay, which was therefore a pretty cheap anti-fighter upgrade. Otherwise, anti-fighter rays equipped with arc turrets and iron flags, which were only following my indices, were also able to do this job. I hope I could give you a nice insight into the late-game crisis coming with 7.0. Feel free to share your own experience or add points I missed in the comments. Until next time.